Yeah, it was a good week. We had a trip up the road to Ruston on Thursday, which kind of challenged us. And we said that last week, got into it. We didn't know how we would respond being on the road, traveling the day of a game, getting off the bus and just going playing. And then about 20 minutes into the warm-up, the skies fell on us and we got drenched in soap. So it challenged them in a variety of different ways. Tech done a great job, obviously. We know what that kind of rivalry means. So they had a couple of sports teams in the fan. They had their band there. They had the drums. They had everything going out. So we a lot of new freshmen starting. I think we started 4 or 5 freshmen again, and a lot of transfers as well. It was just a new environment for them. So I felt we played some really good stuff, created a lot of good opportunities. Just didn't capitalize on it, and then they counterattacked and capitalized on one of our mistakes. So moving into Sunday's game, it was just an understanding that we had to be able to stick to what we'd been doing, and we can't get caught up in the fact that we lost the game, because the product that what was on there and the execution of what we did with the part of the job the keeper done for LaTeX on Thursday was exceptional. We thought we played some of the best stuff we had done in a long time, and it was about making sure that we stayed true to who we are and what our blueprint is and what our values are. And that's all we talked about going into Sunday's game. And I think that showed. And we persevered through, and to go up 1-0, Salma scored a goal against her old school. I think that really showed a lot of character on her part. I think it's very easy for players to get overwhelmed when you play against your own old school. She stayed very level-headed, very mature, and was able to score a goal. And then the last 10 minutes scoring 2 goals, I think that really showed the character and the belief that the group had. So really proud of where we grew over the last week. We got exactly what we wanted out of it. Saw a couple of mistakes that we can adjust, making sure we stick to what we do moving forward. And now we get a nice road trip down to Texas and then come back and play Rice on Sunday. So through the first 3 games and add on these next 2, these 5 games will really show us where we're at and where we need to make some adjustments, getting ready for conference, and that's what our non-conference schedule's about. So excited to battle the next 2 teams.
Kind of talk about your team's ability. You go to LaTeX, you take a tough loss, and then you're able to bounce back with a nice 3-0 victory. Kind of talk about your team. You talked about they have a lot of new faces, the chemistry is still working together, but talk about the ability for them to be able to bounce back after a loss like that and come out with a big win.
Yeah, I mean, the resilience of the group was incredible, right? We didn't know how they were going to take it. Starting so many new faces and new players, it's really more of an individual basis right now. But I'll tell you that the captains and the leaders done a great job of really kind of getting the group together and making sure they stayed focused. Cicely done a great job. She was talking a lot to the players, as well as Lily Parker and Isla Swinton. They really stepped up in those moments to make sure that we stayed level-headed and focused on our resilience and what we could do. It's very easy to go into that game and start focusing on the opposition and worrying about what they do and how are they going to play. But we went in and just kind of maintained where we were at, and the resilience was huge, and hopefully that can continue through. So I mean, that's 2 parts of it now. We've seen us go down a goal in an exhibition game to SFA and come back and win. We've done the same on opening night against Lamar, and then obviously to turn it around and win last night after Thursday's outcome. It's a big plus for us right now.
Talk about those 3 girls being Stevens, Swinton, and Parker. How important are they for your team, especially in the start of the season, to kind of set the tone?
They're really important, right? Because when we look at our upperclassmen right now, regardless of what we've gone, the ones that have been here and know the process of what we do and really know our core values at the very bottom to the top and have been sustained within the program, you're talking it's Cicely, Isla, Lily Parker, Liberty's been here for 4 years, and then Natalie Mays. Everyone else in the upperclassmen have transferred in. So, I feel as if we keep saying the same things for a couple of years, that it's a lot of new faces, but it really is. Like the young ones have come in as freshmen, and now the current sophomores as well. They do an amazing job. So those leaders they've got a really tough task on their hands, because it's a lot of new faces and it's a lot of people that just don't know what we do, and you don't know it until we're in there. So, even last night, we have some processes in place, when the final whistle goes, and Cicely stepped up big in that moment and kind of told the team, hey, this is what we do. And that's how a team starts moving in the right direction. When the players start taking accountability and it's a player-led program, that's huge. So they're massive.
How would you compare the turnover in your sport when you see like football? A lot of teams are talking about 60, 70% roster turnover. How is that compared for you all from a recruiting standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's across all sports. Obviously, some sports are more are higher impacted than others, but I think it's becoming quite prevalent through all college athletics now, that if players don't immediately get what they want, it's time to move on. And obviously coaches do some things on their part as well, especially what just come in with the roster limits. But essentially for us, it's making sure that we have the conversations, and everyone in the roster is just as important to each other, right? You know, Tom's saying we've got 6 different goal scorers right now. He's absolutely right, but it takes all 29 people on the roster right now to get that, right? A couple of days of practice ago, we had a couple of concussions, and we need some of those players to step up and fill a different role in our squad scrimmage at practice so that we can get the most out of it. So it takes everyone right now, and we want to make sure that everyone on the team knows their value and knows their status, and no one's higher or lower than anybody else. And we have to keep that moving forward if we want to win deep into the season once we get to conference play.
7 goals through 3 games, and you have 6 different players who've scored those goals for you. How huge is that, knowing that you're not necessarily relying on maybe 1 or 2 different players? You can kind of score from all over the field with anyone at any given time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes it really hard to defend. And we kind of saw that last night, right? McNeese done a great job. They man-marked one of our forwards and flipped them and basically followed around the field. But then that just opened up opportunities for other players to go and create some chances. So I think when you have a variety of different weapons to go and kill an attack, it then comes down to the chess match of what's going to work in that moment. Give yourself 10, 15 minutes in the game to try and figure out. If it's not working, let's figure out another way to go. So we're really excited about the different threats that we have, and we can play a couple of those people in different positions as well to utilize us and kind of have better matchups as well. So we're hoping as the season goes on that continues, but right now we've got a lot of different ways, and it's pretty exciting as a coach.
Last year you come within 30 seconds of shutting out McNeese in the opener. This year you get to do it. What's that do for the defense mentally to be able to do what they couldn't do last year?
So comparing them, I think that's really good. It gives us a chance to look at that and compare apples to apples and see where it's at. But I think there was a lot of that last year, whereas this year it's the opposite. Again, we've been down a goal a couple of times and came back. We had a loss on Thursday and came back. So for us, it's just the growth of a young group. Like, we played a lot of freshmen last year. I know there's a lot of freshmen playing again this year, but just to see that growth through them and for them to be able to handle the moment and make sure they know how to close out a game, not give up a lead in the last 30 seconds, it really goes into their character and their development as a group, and that's what's most exciting right now.
Natalie Mays, she's kind of been a mainstay for you for the past couple of seasons. Kind of talk about her growth. She's got 9 saves so far this season. What have you seen from her whenever she first came onto the scene, 3 seasons ago versus now? How much has she grown?
She's grown tremendously. I mean, it's her growth over the last 2 years, specifically last year. She got thrown in and played a lot of minutes pretty early on last year. And she had to face some tough teams early on. I think her freshman year as well, her first outing was against South Alabama, right? And that's no easy opponent. So her mentality specifically over the last 12 months has been fantastic. Technically, she's incredible. Like her with her feet, with her hands, the work that she's done and the coaches that she's had has been fantastic. But over the last year, she's been able to really tie in the experience of getting game minutes last year. And now it's just fine-tuning little things, right? And the challenge for her right now is that, respectfully, over the last couple of games, she's not really been tested. She's just had to command her box. She's not had to make any big saves. She came up with a couple against LaTeX, but in the first moment there, she hadn't touched the ball at all for 35 minutes, right? So she's huge for us, and I think she's a great vocal point at the back as well. She really communicates with the back line and the midfielders. She's someone that kind of pulls her teammates together, especially off the field as well. She knows the standards, she knows the values, and she really does a really good job of implementing that all the time for the team.